Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKodash, and double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone who are learned the truth of the gospel of Yahweh Shai from. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to the house of David, which is the elect, the men, women, and children that are predestined to receive salvation and to be the first fruits of the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of Israel. This article, video, this article as well, coming out of Sky News Australia, entitled "No Jab, No Entry Policy is an Indication of Where Other Jurisdictions May Go." And basically, what is happening over there in Australia is they're now at the phase of restricting travelers in the country of Australia from traveling from different city to city. All right, based on your Vanessa your Vanessa situation, okay? Your Vanessa status. That's the word I was looking for. Your Vanessa status. You know, if you don't have that, if you're unvanessed, you won't be allowed to go to different cities over there in Australia, which goes straight into the prophecy. You know that is written in the book of Second Esdras, the 15th chapter. Okay, and we know that as time goes on, more and more countries are going to take this stance. All right, it's going to become a normal thing to where you are restricted from going to one city to the next. All right, because it was written that in these days, in these last days, all right. Let's just get it. Before we even started off. In the book of Second Esdras, chapter 2, verse 15, it says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord." Okay, and this is what we have been set up to do through the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, is speak the words of prophecy. Okay, because the Lord said what? He's declared the end from the beginning, and we are at the end now. Okay, but he spoke these words. He put these words into the mouths of the prophets. Okay, here namely the prophet Ezra. All right, thousands of years ago, speaking about the days that we are in right now. So this is how we know that what? That they are true and faithful, as it says in the second verse. It says, "And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true." Okay, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity, which means the unbelief of them, trouble thee that speak against thee. So for people who, say that we were crazy or conspiracy theorists or nut jobs or tin hat foil people, tin foil hat people, well, guess what? The words of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai are faithful and true, as it is also written. Let me get that real quick. In the book of Romans, the 3rd chapter, the 3rd verse, it says, "For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? Most High forbid. Let the Most High be true, and every man a liar. That, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged." And that's right. We are justified in our sayings because we are speaking the words of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, nothing more, nothing less. And just because you don't believe, do you think that that's going to stop the prophecies of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai coming to pass? The Most High forbid. These things must needs be. Okay? So part of the prophecy is when we jump down now to verse 17, it says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." All right, and Australia, man, they're moving with, they're moving with quickness. Okay, they got Crown Royale camps over there. People that have to quarantine at certain facilities. All right, they're taking people, children's, separating people from their children. Okay, there's so much news coming out. I believe it was also in Australia, where this woman, she was in a mall and she wasn't wearing a mask, I believe. And then you had, some military police and what it looked like, some Joe, what is it? Judge. I forgot the guy's name. Judge. For the movie with Slovakia is escaping the movie with I believe it was Sylvester Stallone, if I'm not mistaken. But they dressed as like RoboCops, and they came and beat her ass, man. All right. But those things, they doing that in Australia, okay, having more draconian laws. But understand, it's going to come down the pipeline, all right, here, especially here in America, man. And it's going to be way worse. See, the Lord got America saved best the worst for last. Okay, the hell that you people are going to catch here in America is going to topple what's been going on all across the world. But ultimately, it's the Lord said He's going to visit the earth which He made, right? So let me just play this, and you can hear it for yourself.
Now, if it's not clear to you already, it should be clear to you that by the end of the year, there will be different rights in a lot of states and territories for vaccinated people as opposed to unvaccinated people. It is in your interest to get vaccinated. Other than Gladys Berejiklian saying at that 70% rate, only vaccinated people will go into pubs and certain other venues and the like, Michael Gunner, the Northern Territory Chief Minister today, flagging lockdowns for the unvaccinated. He's saying if we get cases here and you're vaccinated, you'll be allowed out. But if you're unvaccinated, you won't. He also says only unvaccinated people at 80% double dose in the territory. Unvaccinated will have to quarantine, vaccinated won't. The exception there will be in hotspots, which I imagine would still include Sydney and Melbourne, where unfortunately you'll still have to do 2 weeks home quarantine. So not quite where the national plan is at, but here he is announcing that policy. It's a big development in terms of where other jurisdictions might go as well.
As far as our border measures go, when we reach the next phase, it will boil down to this. No jab, no entry. I know there might be some people who are surprised that we are still going to have pretty strict border and quarantine measures in place even once we hit the 80% vax mark. These changes are going to be our first step, not our last.
Yeah, very interesting development. I thought as well, Andrew, when we saw Matt Cunningham mention that earlier with Michael Gunner doing that. We've seen it with companies mandating it, and if you want to fly Qantas and so on, or other even venues like Crown Casino, but an entire territory saying if you want to go to Kakadu or Litchfield or at the Alice, some of the iconic places in this country, and you haven't had a jab, well, don't think about it.
And really, we've seen this coming for a while, but now we're getting the concrete statements from the leaders outlining it. And for those anti-vaxxers or those who are vaccine hesitant, it will really present a challenge.
Okay, so as you just heard, man, they're restricting whole territories for the ones who are not Vanessed. So you can't say that the Lord is not doing this, breaking these prophecies to pass, man. Call Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because these things, like I said, must come to pass, as Yahweh Shai said. All right, these are the beginning of sorrows. So if you got family in these places, or if you're trying to do business in these places, Esau is telling you what? That you're not going to be able to travel unless you adhere to the beast. Okay? And the Lord is the one that's ultimately orchestrating all these things. Let's get that in the book of Psalms 119, verse 126. It is time for thee, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, to work, for they have made void thy law. All right, let's get something else. In the book of Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 4. Verse 5, it says, behold, ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously. For I will work a work in your days which ye will not believe, though it be told you. All right, and it has been told unto the world. It has been told unto you unbelieving Israelites that the times are going to come, all right, that you are going to desire to go into a city and not be able. All right, we've been saying this, starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and the men that are teaching the true gospel of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai in sincerity and in truth. All right, about these things that were going to come, checkpoints, martial law. Okay, not being able to leave a city, not being able to enter into a city. So now it is actually coming to pass. And as it says in the book of Ezekiel 33, verse 33, it says, and when it cometh to pass, and lo, it will come. Why? Because the Lord's word does not return unto him void, but it goes out and accomplishes that which it seeketh to. All right. It says, then shall they know that a prophet has been among them. And you got prophets over there down in Australia. You got prophets all across the world, man. And people are seeing these things happen right before their eyes, but are still, living in this fantasy land as if things are going to get back to normal. There is no getting back, man. We're too far gone. All right. The Lord is doing this, and he said what? That he will begin to visit the world which he made. And as Yahushua said, that this generation shall not pass till all be fulfilled. And part of the things that need to be fulfilled is these prophecies that you see happening right here, man. All right. So this is the article from that video. It says NT, which is North Territory Chief Minister, outlines plans to reopen border to the Unvannesed. All right. So only the ones who are Unvannesed are going to be able to travel to the North Territory of Australia. And remember, like I said, Australia is a country. All right, this is not international travel they're talking about. They're talking about citizens within Australia not being able to go from one city to the next. That's just like here in Babylon, us being in Jersey. If we are not Unvannesed, they're going to restrict our movement to go to New York. All right, and Joe Biden already mentioned, mentioned doing that. All right, he already thought about that idea, and ultimately it's because the whole beast system is moving, in the same direction. So it says Chief Minister Michael Gunner has announced plans to reopen NT North Territory borders once it surpasses 80% double jazz, but Unvannesed travelers from at-risk Crown Royal zones will be barred. Okay? The territory has managed to keep Crown Royal out of the state since a man who traveled from Sydney sparked a 3-day lockdown in the Darwin and Greater Catherine region in mid-August. All right, so I'm going to jump. It says border changes. Mr. Gunner outlined the opening of North Territory's borders into 3 types of travel categories with different rules depending on whether a traveler is Unvannesed or Unvannesed. And as a guy, the news anchor said, it's becoming clear that there's going to be different rules, different sets of regulations, different lives for people who are Unvannesed and Unvannesed. All right. It says if you arrive in a territory from a place that is not designated Crown Royal hotspot, you will get a free access with no need to self-quarantine. Orange zone, Unvannesed travelers who arrive in the area with a medium level risk will be required to quarantine at home or in a suitable location until they receive a negative test. Red zone, Unvannesed travelers who arrive from an area with a high risk will be required to quarantine at home or in a suitable location for 14 days. So even if you are Unvannesed, they're still restricting your movement. Now here it is. It says, and if you are an Unvannesed traveler from an orange or red zone, unless you have a pre-approved reason for travel, so now you got to get pre-approved to maneuver. Straight draconian, man. Okay. At first, you have to get a passport, right? Show your ID. Esau did that, but now they're saying that you got to be pre-approved to even travel. It says such as a returning resident or essential work purposes, you will be banned from entering the territory. Unvannesed travelers who are pre-approved, who have a pre-approved reason for travel, are required to quarantine at the Howard Springs or Atlas Springs facility. And they use these places. Okay, Howard Springs, sounds like a nice place, but really that's a COVID camp. Because if they're requiring you to go to these specific facilities, then that is an isolation camp, man. Something else that we have been prophesying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And like I said, they got this over here. Don't think that it's they got this over there in Australia. Don't think that this is not coming to other parts of the earth. Matter of fact, I just received a notification. All right, and we're gonna see through the spirit what comes of this. But there was a notification that just alerted. It says new Biden to deliver remarks about a quote unquote national security initiative at 5 p.m. Eastern time. The White House announced last night, apparently affecting Australia, the United Kingdom, and potentially more countries. Okay, so we're gonna see what this damn serpent, all right, says about this so-called national security initiative that he's going to say today at 5 p.m. Eastern time. But overall, man, we're living in some beautiful times. We're living in times of prophecy being fulfilled. Okay, so we know what time it is, man, as it is written here in the book of Second Thessalonian, First Thessalonian, chapter 5, verse 1. It says, but of the times and of the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. Yeah, because if you are watching, if you are standing upon your watchtower, if you are, being aware of what's going on, taking heed unto yourselves, then you should know perfectly what time it is. It says, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. All right. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, all right, the ones of us, the sheep that are listening and learning, giving heed, all right, it says, but ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day shall overtake you as a thief. Ye are the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, all right, the ones who are surfeiting, the ones who are concerned with the cares of this life, drunken with the ways of this world. All right, they're asleep, man, and they're sleepwalking right to their destruction. But we have to do what? But let us watch and be sober-minded, sound-minded. Don't get all twisted and turned up, because of what is going on, man. But understand that this is the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, so with that, I end it there. Call Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakak Radash. Till next time, Shalom.